Hey there, Rivet athletes. Happy Saturday, April 11th. Coach Morgan here. Let's take a look at what we're doing for today's workout for you folks who have limited equipment. Hopefully you have a dumbbell or two laying around. Ideally for this workout, you have two dumbbells if possible. If you only have one, that's probably fine. But we should ideally have one heavier dumbbell and one not so heavy dumbbell. I'll explain why in just a moment. We're looking at 4 rounds for time. First off, each round starts with a 400-meter run, so make sure you have your 400-meter measure done already. Get your Google Maps out, measure 200 meters down, 200 meters back, measure starting at your driveway or wherever. 400 meters should take about 2 minutes or so on average. Then after that, we have 2 dumbbell movements, 20 reps of alternating dumbbell snatches. Snatches, of course, dumbbell starts on the floor between the shoes, comes all the way up overhead in one big smooth movement. I'll demonstrate for you that in just a moment. And then after that, we have a kind of movement we don't do very often, and it's definitely on the more challenging side. This is the one we should use a lighter dumbbell for. Well, we have 20 one-arm overhead squats. This one definitely takes a fair amount of mobility and balance. And usually people go with a lighter dumbbell than they would for the dumbbell snatches. All right, so we're looking at 5 rounds for time, 400-meter run, 20 snatches, 20 one-arm overhead squats. And again, going back to the overhead squats real quick, you are doing 10 squats with the dumbbell held up overhead on the right and 10 squats with the dumbbell overhead on the left. And you can split those up and alternate back and forth however you see fit on the squats, okay? The snatches, you alternate hands each time. Overhead squats, alternate as you want to. All right, let me demonstrate these movements for you. All right, let's take a look at these 2 dumbbell movements for the day. First, we have the dumbbell snatch. Dumbbell, of course, starts on the floor. Both heads of the bell should touch the floor at the bottom. We send those hips back, right? We have the arms straight. We start with that big extension of the legs and hips. We pull the elbow up high and then punch the dumbbell up overhead. One nice big movement. All the way back down to the ground. Switch hands every rep, going up overhead. You're also welcome to switch hands mid-air, right? Bring it down, switch hands here. Tap the floor, back up, switch hands here, going up overhead. Either way is totally fine. Dumbbell snatches. Each round has 20 alternating hands every time. Then the other movement, challenging movement here, is our overhead dumbbell squat with 1 dumbbell. These very challenging, really challenge our mobility and balance. But we have 1 dumbbell, probably a little bit lighter for most of us, myself included, definitely. We're going to lock that dumbbell out overhead. I like to have this arm out for balance. We're dropping down into a nice full squat at the bottom, bring it up overhead. These are a little bit tough. Definitely challenges our upper body mobility and our shoulder stability as well. That arm up overhead, bring it down to a full squat. Bring it up overhead. Down and up every time. With that one, you can alternate sides as you see fit, but just make sure that you evenly balance the reps between the left side and the right side. You're doing 20 per round. I would suggest probably switching every 5 or so. 5, 5, 5, 5, 20. All right, get after it, guys. Have a good workout. Post your scores in Wad Hopper or join us for a Zoom class. Have a great weekend. I will see you Monday.